Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Brother Sid. I have Brother Quran assisting me today. We are the Commandment Keepers Church. We have a detailed broadcast for our brothers and sisters internationally. The title of today's broadcast will be Baby Mama Drama. Baby Mama Drama, brothers and sisters. Look around you. America is facing a silent epidemic, and nobody wants to talk about the root cause. Okay, we have glamorized baby mama culture. We've normalized the broken home, and we're watching the ripple effects tear through our society in real time, brothers and sisters. Okay, today, the sugarcoating stops. We are diving deep into the uncomfortable truths and the massive impact fatherless homes is having on our communities. We have embraced a narrative that says fathers are optional. We've turned a societal crisis into a trendy punchline, brothers and sisters. Guess what? The numbers don't lie. And the damage, brothers and sisters, is undeniable. Today, we are breaking down the matrix of the baby mama culture and exposing the exact toll it's taking on our communities, brothers and sisters. And we're going to talk about it. Why? Criminal activity thrives in Black communities because there's no fathers in the home. And that's a fact that cannot be denied. Many people totally ignored the 3 Black teenagers who attempted to carjack a Marine at gunpoint, only to be quickly subdued by the Marine's quick reflexes.
Jaco Borda was working on his truck in his quiet neighborhood in suburban Maryland when he noticed a group of teenagers walk by.
They start putting hoodies on. I was like, I felt something is gonna happen.
Surveillance video from the Marine veteran's home security camera shows one of the teens pull a gun and stick it in Borda's face.
I told him I raised my hands up and the keys are in, car is on. And he saw my phone. He was like, give me your phone too.
But then his hand-to-hand military combat training kicked in.
It was that split moment when he moved his hand from my head to the side of my head. That's when I grab him and pull it my way.
You can see Borda wrestling the teen with the gun to the ground. His brother rushes in to help. Listen as the gun fires during the struggle. In the midst of the melee, the teen's gun went off. But fortunately, no one was hurt. The only gunshot ended up here in the truck. Borda's father then charges in right behind. Together, the family subduing the teens. Police say 2 suspects on the scene were taken into custody. Was there anything in the back of your minds like, maybe these guys messed with the wrong dude?
Nothing. The first thing I thought was, how am I going to work if they're going to take my car? That's the first thing I thought.
Ryan Nobles, NBC News, Oxon Hill, Maryland.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to the book of Isaiah, the 3rd chapter and the 12th verse. Okay, let's start in the Old Testament because why? Why, brothers and sisters? We have to talk the Black community first. Why? We're Black. Okay, so we're going to put our own problems on the table first. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you look into what's going on in the Black community, right? The single parent households in the Black community. This was foretold in the Bible. Okay. And I'm letting you know right now, the white community is not far behind us, right? The Hispanic community, they all have grown in single motherhood. But if you don't learn from the Black community, I'm telling my white brothers and sisters, I'm telling my Hispanic brothers and sisters, you will get the same consequences we have. Don't think that, hey, if you all lived like we live, as far as single parent households, you would be in any better shape because you would not. You would not. And we're going to prove that today. Take a look at Isaiah, the 3rd chapter and the 12th verse, where the Lord prophesied single parent households amongst the Black community. Let's take a gander, please.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths.
Stop right there. As for my people, right, the Negroes, children are their oppressors. Brothers and sisters, the scriptures have foretold young black men are largely responsible for the destruction in our communities. Okay, the Bible highlights the consequences that often arise when young boys are raised without the presence of a father in the home. Look at what it says there. It says children are the oppressors. What do they call them? YNs, right? YNs. That's what they call them. I don't use the terminology, but that's what they call, right? It says women rule over them. Why? That's the only person in the house. Okay, so prophetic truth hits hard when a generation of young black men abandon righteousness. It triggers the catastrophic collapse of our neighborhoods, brothers and sisters. You see that? Think about that. Scriptures flash, right? Scripture flashes a red alert, forcing young boys to navigate life without a father. And guess what, brothers and sisters? That strips away their armor. Okay, it strips away their armor and invites immediate chaos into the home. Let's talk about that. Why? The data is undeniable, brothers and sisters. Right? The surge of violent crimes in the black community is a direct, tragic symptom of boys being raised without paternal authority. Let's talk about that. Why, brothers and sisters? The numbers scream a state of emergency. Right? The vast majority of neighborhood crime is driven by males, 28 and under, who grew up without a father as a shield. That can't be denied, brothers and sisters. And guess what? This text stands as an unshakable truth. A father's presence is the ultimate non-negotiable weapon required to crush generational destruction. You see that, brothers and sisters? Think about that. The survival of our neighborhoods hinges entirely on young black men waking up and stepping into their divine mantle of leadership. Read that one more time, brothers and sisters, please. The title of today's broadcast, Baby Mama Drama. Let's take a look.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths.
They which lead thee, who is that? Single mothers, cause us to err. Brothers and sisters, when young boys grow up without a father, okay? When young boys grow up without a father's shield, they are left dangerously exposed on life's battlefield. Okay, the explosive surge of violent crime in our neighborhoods isn't a mystery, brothers and sisters. It is a direct hit from a generational of what? A generation of young men raised in single mother households. That's a fact that cannot be denied. And I'm not here to blame sisters. Okay, we're not here to blame sisters. Sisters have done the best they can. Right? The word doesn't sugarcoat the crisis, though. Right? Our communities face absolute collapse unless young men reject the cultural traps. Okay, the Bible exposes the raw vulnerability of our youth. Growing up without a father is like sending a boy into a cultural war zone without an anchor. See that? Strip away the excuses, brothers and sisters. The data proves that the root cause of community violence is the absence of fathers in these single mother homes. Okay? We're not going to rush past this. Why? When a generation of young men turns away from righteousness, it triggers a catastrophic chain reaction across the entire community. Think about that, brothers and sisters. Think about that. God's word maps out the exact trajectory of a fractured home. Okay, proving that a young boy needs a father's reflection to know exactly who he is. Okay, the text lays bare the devastating consequences of the fatherless epidemic. sounding a midnight alarm for the entire family structure, brothers and sisters. Women were not created by God to be single mothers, and that's a fact that cannot be denied. Okay, the Bible tells us that single motherhood isn't something any woman should have to bear. When women are left to raise children alone, the devil begins to attack their decision making. Okay, Satan loves single mothers because he knows it's easier to manipulate them when there's no man. Okay, and we're going to talk about it why. Satan and every predator knows that women are not natural protectors, so they're going to be more trusting than they should be. Okay, and guess what? Many people totally ignored the arrest warrant that was recently issued for single mother Raven Yates for leaving her 12 and 3-year-old children alone for 2 months.
A Montgomery County mother is wanted by police in 2 different states tonight after investigators say her 2 young children were found in deplorable living conditions.
The 12 and 3-year-old were left alone to fend for themselves for nearly 2 months. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor is live outside the home where all of this happened. Brooke?
Yeah, all of this really hard to believe. Now, the mom left about a few months ago, but they moved into this home a year ago, and the children were never enrolled in school in Texas. So officials tell me it was really easy for all of this to just go unnoticed. Inside this home, a nightmare for 2 young children, 12 and 3 years old. Roman Forest Police Chief Stephen Carlisle says they were abandoned for nearly 2 months.
There was no food in the house. Everything was empty. There was some dry beans and some spices is about it.
Their mother, Raven Yates, left them in late September, he says. There's been a warrant out for her arrest since December. Investigators say the 12-year-old never told anyone because she was threatened by what might happen to her little brother. They have different fathers.
And she was afraid that her father was going to take her and leaving the 3-year-old by himself.
Fearful, she obeyed. She'd call her father, saying mom was working and he would send food. According to police, he's a music producer in California. He called police once family members spotted Yates in Mobile, Alabama, where she's from, without her kids.
When he got a call from his ex-mother-in-law and they put 2 and 2 together, he caught the first plane over here.
Investigators shocked to see how they were living.
The officers checked the bedroom of the children and discovered heavy urine odor coming from the 3-year-old's bed.
Yates continues to be active on social media, posting to her thousands of followers as investigators work with Mobile police to arrest the 31-year-old's mom. She's wanted on 2 counts of abandoning or endangering a child without intent to return. She hasn't responded to our messages.
A 12-year-old cannot take care of a 3-year-old for a long period of time. It's dangerous, especially over a month and a half. It's dangerous, it's irresponsible of a parent.
Women are not natural protectors, which means they are more naturally trusting. And that's a fact that cannot be denied, brothers and sisters. We just saw a mother leave her 2 children home alone for 2 months. And brothers and sisters, this is not as uncommon as it should be. Okay, here we see the consequences of leaving a mother to shoulder the burden of parenthood alone. Okay, there are consequences to leaving mothers to raise children on their own. And that's a fact we have to stop denying, brothers and sisters. We have to stop denying this. Why? God hates when a man will leave his seed to be raised by a woman because she's not built for that. Okay, God did not create women to carry this kind of burden. And the Bible talks about it time and time again, brothers and sisters. Sisters leave their children alone all the time because unfortunately they never get a break because they're the only parent involved. Many people totally forgot that Sherry Magby was just arrested for leaving her 6 kids at home alone.
A Douglas County woman is accused of child cruelty. Police say she left 6 children unsupervised in living conditions they describe as unsanitary and unsuitable. The details of the case are disturbing.
Yeah, so we're talking about Sherry Diane Magny is now charged with 6 counts of child cruelty. So what was going on inside of that home, allegedly going on inside that home? Let's get to 11 Alive's Galat Malamat. She's live right now on James D. Simpson Avenue with what neighbors are saying and also what court documents are revealing.
Neighbors tell me they rarely see Sherry Magby home, and according to arrest warrants, she left a 10-year-old in charge of watching 5 other children, the youngest child just 1-year-old. Neighbors on this Douglasville street are heartbroken to learn what arrest warrants say took place inside this home. Sherry Diane Magby is accused of second-degree cruelty to 6 children.
I thought, everything was okay, but I just know she's never home. She's never there. And it's just sad. Sad.
Another neighbor who was not comfortable speaking on camera told me that the night police responded here, the children showed up to her yard saying they could not wake the 1-year-old. Arrest warrants say Magby left the 6 children at home for 12 hours the weekend of March 28th under the supervision of a 10-year-old without providing adequate food or suitable living conditions. The warrant says upon entering the residence, officers immediately detected a strong, foul odor consistent with unsanitary living conditions. The residence was further observed to be in a state of significant disorder with every room in disarray. Neighbors tell me for months they rarely saw Magby home.
One time I never seen her there and the kids be there, and I told my husband we might need to do a welfare check because he came home like 12 o'clock one night and the kids was outside playing.
The arrest warrant goes on to say the child supervising said there was insufficient food in the home and that he observed the 1-year-olds eating roaches and ants due to the lack of proper nourishment.
If I knew they didn't have food to eat, I would have fed them.
Court documents show Magby was also arrested in 2023 for allegedly abusing her son, who was a teenager at the time. He is now 18, and a trial date in that case is set for May. Neighbors here tell me that the children are now with other relatives.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to the book of Ephesians, the 6th chapter and the 4th verse. Okay. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, the title of today's broadcast, brothers and sisters, Baby Mama Drama. Let's take a look.
Ephesians 6 and 4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Paul explicitly addresses fathers as the primary agents of spiritual instruction, okay, and discipline, right? Notice he's establishing paternal accountability, right? The teachings of God emphasize that fathers are meant to be the primary caretakers of children. Okay, a perspective that contrasts with our current culture. Let's be honest. He says, bring them up, raise them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Who is he talking to? Who is he telling to raise the children? Right? The biblical text suggests that it is the father's responsibility to guide children in the right direction, brothers and sisters. Okay, when we allow God's teachings to influence our thoughts, it becomes evident that fathers were the primary caregivers for children. What happened to that? This verse indicates that our modern society goes against biblical norms by favoring mothers as the primary caregivers instead of fathers. Satan did this. He looked right at this and said, well, no, we're going to do it the other way. We're going to do it the other way. I know God says the man should be the one primarily responsible for the children, but we're going to give it to the woman. Examine that. Upon closer examination of the text, it is evident that God assigns the role of guiding children on the right path to fathers, not mothers. Okay, it is, brothers and sisters, examine it carefully. Why? It is apparent that in today's society, there is a preference for mothers as the primary caregivers over fathers, contradicting the teachings in the Bible. Okay, fathers were the main providers for the children. Think about that. Fathers were the main providers for their children, as shown when we follow the guidance of God's word. Okay, this verse illustrates that our contemporary society violates biblical norms by valuing mothers as primary caregivers over the father. Think about that, brothers and sisters. By studying the word of God, we are reminded of the crucial roles that fathers play in shaping the lives and the futures of their children. Okay? And we have to talk about it. Why? By prioritizing mothers in the hierarchy of child rearing, our society actively goes against the teachings in the Bible. When women are appointed to leadership positions, it often becomes apparent why this contradicts God's intentions, brothers and sisters. Okay, women are inherently emotional, which hinders effective leadership. Okay, and guess what? Corporate media, Hollywood, and the entertainment industry, they all endorse the matriarchy, every last one of them. The media loves to see women shouldering the burden of parenthood, and that's a fact we can't deny, brothers and sisters. Women are not meant to carry the burden of parenthood alone, and Satan knows it. Remember, most people totally ignore the fact that single mother Valencia Duke was just charged with murder after her 13-month-old child died of starvation.
In the district, a woman was charged with murdering her baby girl by starving her to death. Valencia Duke also facing child neglect charges. Fox 5's Bob Barnard has more from court.
Homicide suspect Valencia Duke went before a judge late today. She was ordered held without bond, the judge calling the circumstances of this case very troubling. Now, we have a photo of the 25-year-old charged with first-degree murder. She was arrested yesterday at her brother's home in Temple Hills. Valencia Duke is accused of neglecting her 13-month-old twins. One of them, a baby girl named Missouri Jones, was found dead inside the family's third-floor apartment. That was on Southern Avenue Southeast on the night of January 18th, a building that is now abandoned. Police say the baby girl was found in a playpen that night and died of malnourishment and dehydration. Her twin brother was found to be so starved that night that police say he tried to eat the paramedic's stethoscope, thinking it was food. Photos from charging documents show the filthy and cluttered conditions police say they found inside and outside the apartment the night Missouri Jones was found dead by her mother. Police say Valencia has since confessed to leaving the children alone in the apartment for hours or days at a time. The court also releasing security camera images from the hallway outside Duke's apartment in the days leading up to Missouri's death, proving the mother would leave and not come back for long periods of time. Police also say they found what appeared to be crack cocaine in the apartment and a baby bottle with rancid lemonade. According to court documents, the twins' father is in jail. Valencia Duke had an older child who appears to have been taken by Child Protective Services some time ago. Now, there were no family or friends in the courtroom today. We're not sure why authorities didn't know about the living conditions of the family's apartment on Southern Avenue before Missouri was found dead. And at the end of the hearing today, her attorney told the judge that Valencia is now 13 weeks pregnant. Guys.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to the book of Mark, the 3rd chapter and the 24th and the 25th verse. Brothers and sisters, Satan knows. He knows how single parenthood affects a community. He knows it. We're going to prove it to you. Satan knows the Bible better than anyone, brothers and sisters. Better than any of us, for sure. He's studied the Bible. He knows what it says, and he tries to use it against us. He tries to use it against us, brothers and sisters. Okay? He knows how toxic, he knows how poisonous it is for single-parent households to be what you call common in American culture. We're going to show you. right? We're here at Mark 3:24, also verse 25. Look at what Christ had to say about this division. Okay, look at what Christ had to say about single parent households. Let's take a look.
The book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
What did that say, brother?
Mark 3:24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
Aha. Satan doesn't start with the kids. He starts with the parents, brothers and sisters, right? He breeds bitter division at the top, so the entire home collapses under the pressure. Okay, a house divided cannot stand. And Satan knows the math, brothers and sisters. Right? His ultimate blueprint is to fracture the parents so he can easily steal the children's destiny. That's where we are, right? When the enemy creates a wedge between a mother and father, he strips away the defense that keeps the kids safe from cultural predators. That's what happens, right? The home is engineered to be a peaceful sanctuary, not a high-stress survival camp, brothers and sisters. Okay, when division takes over, the home is sabotaged. Okay, forcing vulnerable children to navigate a spiritual war zone alone. Okay, when there's division, when these parents go separate ways, when the child is not being raised in the home with both of his parents, there's consequences to that. Okay, nothing thrills the kingdom of darkness more than a domestic feud. Nothing. If the enemy can keep the parents divided, he can easily execute his agenda against the youth. Okay, a tiny crack of division in the relationship is all the leverage the enemy needs. Think about that. Satan isn't creative. He's predictable, brothers and sisters. He relies on division because he knows an isolated family is an easily defeated family. He knows that. Okay, the enemy strikes. Okay, the enemy strikes the marital bedrock first. Why? If he can crack the foundation, the entire structural weight of the family brings itself down. Okay, so he goes for the foundation, which is the parents. See that? By keeping parents locked in a civil war, Satan ensures their eyes are off the perimeter, leaving the children completely unguarded. Think about that. The enemy's first move is cutting the lines of communication. Silent treatment in the home. Silent treatment between mom and dad is music to the devil's ears. Okay? Satan divides families today so that children learn how to build broken homes tomorrow. Satan knows that if he wants to destroy the children, particularly in the Black community, he must separate the parents, and that's a fact that cannot be denied. Okay? Since the civil rights era, Satan has been attacking the Black family, and everybody knows it. Most people totally ignored when Charlie Kirk openly confessed that the federal government purposely broke apart Black families in order to make these children vulnerable.
If you look in the Black community in the 1960s, single motherhood rate was 21%. Now single motherhood rate in the Black community is 78%. What happened? Did America become more racist since the 1960s? No, we actually became significantly less racist since the 1960s. Our government welfare program subsidized single motherhood over the last 50, 60 years. We literally pay mothers to not get married because as soon as they get married, they lose their welfare check. Some of it was reformed in the 1990s, but not enough of it. And we have completely broken urban areas with broken government-run public schools and a welfare structure that rewards bad choices. Not getting married is not good. Black fathers matter. If we were able to bring down the single motherhood rate in the Black community by even 50%, you'll see the poverty rate go down with it. Every independent study will show that when there's a nuclear family is kept together, poverty goes down. It's the number one indicator to help people out of poverty.
Charlie Kirk admitted that the government used the welfare to incentivize Black women not to get married. Think about that. It is a well-documented fact, okay? It's a well-documented fact that in American history, the federal government tried to destroy Black households, okay? And they did it through incentivizing single mother households by telling them, hey, well, listen, if you want this welfare, if you want this government assistance, you can't have a man living there. You can't be married. Okay, let the government be that baby's daddy. Okay, we'll be that baby's daddy. Get him out of there. Okay, open up the history books, and it's easy to find out the government used welfare, okay, to incentivize single mother homes. It's very easy to find out, brothers and sisters. Satan knows the power of two-parent homes, which is why he incentivized single mothers in the Black community. Think about that. Anyone who doesn't know the history of how welfare had been weaponized against the Black community needs to open a book. Okay, two of the greatest white thinkers of the 21st century openly confessed that the welfare program was used to destroy the Black family.
My question was more or less, what is the reason why there's such a disproportionate amount of single mothers in the African American poverty, like in that realm of?
Because, okay, so the real reason that there's a lot of single motherhood in the Black community is because single motherhood has increased tremendously across all communities. So it used to be that in 1960, 5% of white women were single mothers. Today it's 40% of white women. So all across, it's increased. Single motherhood in the Black community has been a bigger problem than in the white community because, yes, of pathologies of slavery. That goes all the way back to, back in slave times, the rate of single motherhood was really high because of forcible separation of families, and that carried over into Jim Crow as well, although it was beginning to decline actually in the 1950s, in the 1940s and the 1950s. With the explosion of welfare, which was directly targeted at low-income communities, which happened to be disproportionately minority, now there was an actual economic incentive to continue in pathologies of single motherhood. That if you were thinking about getting married before you had the baby, now maybe you didn't think quite as hard about it because after all the government was there to pick you up. And so the single motherhood rate continues to rise at a very high rate, but it's rising similarly at a high rate in the white community too. So I don't want to pretend it's solely a Black problem, single motherhood. It isn't. There's a very high single motherhood rate in the Black community, high rate in the white community, high rate in the Hispanic community. That's mainly because of the sexual revolution and the ideas from the left that a child doesn't need a mother and a father, and that there's some sort of inherent virtue that attends to being a single mother, which is really an irritating thing. There's a lot more virtue that attends to being a responsible mother, marrying dad, and then there being two parents there to help raise the kid.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. Okay? Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 1, 2, and 3. We're going to talk about it because here you heard Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, a Jewish man. Okay? You know something is up when a Jewish man is telling the truth. If a Jewish man is telling the truth, it's because he can't make up lies. It would be well known. Okay? Here you have Charlie Kirk, one of the most revered men of the last 20 years, and Ben Shapiro, one of the world's intellects, both telling you, hey, we know that there was government intervention that promoted a level of debauchery among the Black community. During the, brothers and sisters, in the 50s and 60s, more Black people were married than white people. Let's just do the numbers. By percentage, over 70% of Black men and women were married in the 50s and 60s, before civil rights era and all that. Okay, that's just the truth. That's just the truth, brothers and sisters. Okay, things have changed. Things have changed because they incentivized welfare program. Okay, and anyone who knows American history can corroborate that. Open up a book. Talk to your historians. They all know. They all know how we got here today in the Black community. It wasn't organic, brothers and sisters. Okay? And we're going to show you why they wanted to move the man out of the house. Why? See, Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk didn't say why they wanted to move the man out of the house. We're going to show you. right? We're at Ecclesiasticus chapter 30. We're going to have Brother Quran read let's read verse 1 through 3, brothers and sisters. Let's take a gander.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chastises his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
Ecclesiasticus 30:1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
He that teaches his son grieves the enemy. Brothers and sisters, he that teaches his son grieves the enemy. This is why they wanted the man out of the house. The Bible is clear in verse 1. He that loves his son causes his son often to feel the rod. That's discipline. That's physical discipline. They said, well, nah, we don't want to do that, right? We want to move him out the way, right? So we can have these lawless children. See that? This is why they moved him out. This is exactly why. He that teaches his son grieves the enemy. Why? Because the enemy want to take advantage. Want to take advantage of your son, right? Want to leave your son vulnerable. Want to make him a statistic in the prison system. Okay, notice Sirach places the rigorous duty of discipline and character molding squarely on the father. Okay. Think about that. These passages emphasize the father's role in teaching discipline to his children. Think about that. Okay, the Bible suggests that the absence of fathers often leads to a lack of discipline in the children. Think about that. The initial law enforcement figure that children, especially sons, should engage with is their father. Okay, here the Bible reminds us why children with absent fathers often struggle with structure and discipline. You see that? The text reveals why Satan and the government have collaborated in advocating for single motherhood. This is exactly why. Think about that. The private prison owners benefit from the absence of fathers in children's lives because it often leads those children to being incarcerated. And guess what? If you know anything about privately owned prisons, right? These prisons are built by private citizens, right? So let's say a millionaire, billionaire, right? He spends, let's say he spends $5 million on building up a prison. The government will sign a contract with this private citizen to say, hey, well, listen, every citizen you have here, every day you have a citizen there, we're going to pay you $3,500 per inmate. Okay, so we're going to pay you $3,500 a day per inmate you have. That's the game, brothers and sisters. That's the game, the privately owned prison game. And see, the people who own the prisons also own the hip hop music. See that? The Jewish people, the people who own the privately owned prisons also own the record labels. There's a reason why they're pumping this type of music into the Black community, right? Every inmate generates thousands of dollars for the owners every day they're incarcerated, brothers and sisters. Prison owners benefit financially from having fathers absent because it allows them to profit from the incarceration of their children. Think about that. The Bible is clear, right? He that loves his son causes him to what? Feel the rod. True love isn't soft. It's protective. A father uses firm, consistent discipline to prepare his son to survive a brutal world that will not spare his feelings. You see that? Fathers look at the long game. right? When a dad is missing, a boy loses the long-term visionary guidance he's needed. See that? See? He says in verse 2, he that chastises his son shall have joy of him in the long run. Think about that. Without a father to enforce the rules, a boy never learns the boundaries of authority. And see, this is what they know. This is why they moved him out. This is exactly what they know. Okay, when a home has no patriarch, the street steps in to teach discipline through handcuffs and hard lessons. Okay, a dad who pours wisdom into his son is Satan's worst nightmare. That's what the Bible says. He that teacheth his son grieves the enemy. He grieves the enemy. When a father abandons his post, the enemy starts celebrating because the boy is left completely unguarded. You see that? A boy cannot learn how to be a man from a mirror. He needs a father to show him how to walk, how to speak, and how to command respect. Without that blueprint, he wanders in confusion, brothers and sisters. Okay? The culture tells mothers they can be both mom and dad, but Ecclesiasticus 30 unmasked that lie. It unmasked that lie. Okay, a mother provides nurture, but a father must provide the iron structure. You cannot substitute the patriarch, brothers and sisters. Right? Without a patriarch to enforce boundary lines, a boy never learns authority, forcing the streets to teach him through handcuffs and hard lessons. Okay, a boy cannot learn manhood from a mirror. He needs a present father to copy. Without that blueprint, he wanders in deep identity confusion, brothers and sisters. Okay? If you go into any ghettos of America, you see the consequences of fatherless homes in the Black community.
4 for 3 on the skit, that should have died. I know you seen that Drake bully, it's your brother mom. How to know that's how they ass died.
All the outlets was posting somebody was trying to take the car, and then it was like a self-defense type of thing.
My baby in the backseat with a Drake and a switch. You never know who in the backseat. Long story short, you can stand your ground. We in Michigan. Long story short, gang. Play, you gonna lay. The house that got towed on, somebody shot through the window. That almost hit me on my head. I'm on box right now, fighting the case. I'm finna go to prison, man. I'm 19. 2, 3, nigga. 50. Yeah, you know we coming, man. Really, whoever feels some type of way about that other Bang Man. You could ask Bang Man. I took them extra switchy and dudes tried to hit me up to get it back. It's finished. Yeah. Yeah. What? I'm spinning through the 8. I see the run out. I'm throwing 30 out the Drake. It's a switchy on my Glock. Tap the trigger. Dishing on the ground, but in real life won't get with me. You could ask Bang Man. I took them extra switchy and dudes tried to hit me up to get it back. Finished Lil 8. I'm really with it. I done slammed the whole city, and when that died, they was on the ground and they feelings on that one skit. It got risky. Man, them tried to get me. Slid back for 50. Zay remind me of Tuka. His ass blowing like a chicken. 2, 3 got back door by his own man. Them fishy, fake 80 deuce ass. Money said we gonna get him. Tired of sitting on his crib. I'm finna shoot all through the window. Pop the perk, got me reminiscing. When I was drilling, caught him walking out the crib. Headshot, you know I killed him, and I don't like to claim that shit. Really, it was the wrong. But they better blame their son. He was the one doing that dissing or that trolling on the ground. Go outside and leave your pistol. LJ here, bitch can tell he ain't really with it. Drop that location, we pulling up right now with switches, and I'll never leave a witness. Tell the truth, we was on camera, pussy would've never been living. Right now I'm fighting the Senate, 30 years on my plate, little nigga, but I ain't finished, but I'm back to the killing. Kids dropping pistols, and I hit them with that bitch. I just sent them to the spittle. Why the fuck they say my name like I want to pop outside and get them? It was me and Monty blowing back to back, but we ain't get him. Vaughn running with his pistol. How the fuck around Eddie Douglas, he never blew his pistol, and Lil Mooney, he a bitch. Don't give a fuck about no gun, boy, you a dog with that bitch. And yeah.
Without a father's blessing, children hunt for worth in all the wrong places, falling prey to gang initiations or toxic relationships just to feel wanted, brothers and sisters. Okay, when the home lacks a patriarch, the block becomes the default mentor. Okay, the streets don't love your kids. It recruits them as foot soldiers. Okay, fathers teach emotional self-regulation. Without a dad to check aggression, young males struggle with impulse control, turning minor disrespect into fatal conflicts. Growing up fatherless is like flying a jet blind through a storm. Let's be honest about that. Let's be honest. Fatherlessness is a highly contagious curse. A boy who never sees a man manage a home has no blueprint to build one, brothers and sisters. Okay, and Sirach chapter 30 tells us exactly why they moved him out of the home. Okay, because when a child grows up without discipline, it has severe consequences. Okay, because you're going to learn, you're going to be disciplined. Right? And instead of getting it from your black father, you're going to get it from a white police officer. You're going to get it from a white judge. See that? This is all a part of it, brothers and sisters. This is all a part of it. The YNs, as y'all call them, that's running and terrorizing the streets like Isaiah 3:12 said they would, primarily don't have dad at home. Because why? Dad wouldn't allow his sons to put themselves at risk like this. No father would allow a son he loves to put his life at risk in the way that these youngins are doing it. Okay? So they know, brothers and sisters, they know without any shadow of a doubt that if we could remove the man out of the home, we can fill up those prisons. We can fill up those prisons. Okay, let us show you the value of a two-parent home. Okay, let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9. Brothers and sisters, follow us to Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter, the 9th and 10th verse. Why? We want to show you the value of a two-parent household, right? We're going to show you what Satan knows. We're going to show you why he's put so much focus on destroying father and mother being together under the same roof. Let's take a look.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9. 2 are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone, when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9. 2 are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone, when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up.
Solomon starts with a foundational mathematical truth of the kingdom. Partnership multiplies effectiveness, brothers and sisters. The passage teaches that the toil, the labor of managing a household and raising a family inherently designed for partnership. Okay, and if it was done that way, it would prevent burnout. That's what he's telling you. See that? One parent is a hero, but two are an army, right? Double the energy, double the authority, double the impact on a child's soul. You see that, brothers and sisters? Parenting alone breaks people, right? Shared labor prevents exhaustion, ensuring kids never, ever get desperate leftovers because the children are, brothers and sisters, the children get the best energy from their parents, right? When it's left to a mother to carry the entire burden, guess what? She's overwhelmed. They get leftovers from her. Okay, when mom hits a wall of frustration, dad steps in the gap. All right, the child never inherits a broken, overwhelmed leader. And see, that's what this passage is telling you about, right? The power of two. Okay, Satan wants to bankrupt the family emotionally, spiritually, and financially. He knows that a solo parent has to expend double the labor just to survive. He knows that. Satan knows basic math. Divide the parents, conquer the kids. By reducing 2 down to 1, he instantly slashes the home's spiritual defense by 50%. See that? Every human has a blind spot. Every human. Every human has a blind spot. Satan targets the family unit because 2 parents watch each other's backs. 1 parent leaves an open flank for the enemy to strike the kids. Satan wants to starve kids emotionally. By removing either mom or dad, he cuts off half of the unique gender-specific affirmation that God engineered children to receive. They need both. I'm not saying that, hey, they just need a father. I'm saying they need both. Okay? A solo parent has to make every critical call alone. Think about that. Satan floods single-parent homes with chaos to induce decision fatigue, hoping the parent eventually just surrenders ground. I'm tired. Do what you want. Satan attacks the 2-parent structure because he wants to distort the physical blueprint that points children to God's character. Think about that. In God's economy, pairing up doesn't just add strength, it multiplies it, brothers and sisters. Satan pushes for 1-parent homes to keep families operating at a fraction of their supernatural potential. And that's just the truth. Satan promotes single-parent structures to detach the family from a larger community, making the kids easy prey. You see that, brothers and sisters? Satan plays the numbers game. If he divides the parents, he conquers the kids, slashing the home's spiritual defense by 50% in one shot. One shot. Think about it. The devil is a master marketer. He brands isolation as liberation to trick parents into abandoning the exact partnership built to protect their children. Let's be honest about that. Satan wants kids emotionally malnourished. Eliminate mom or dad, and you instantly cut off half of the specialized affirmation God designed for kids to crave. Okay, a solo parent faces a relentless firing squad of daily choices. Satan floods the home with chaos, hoping the parent surrenders out of pure exhaustion. Single motherhood is a burden that no woman should have to carry alone, and that's a fact that Satan knows. Remember, most people totally ignore the young mother, Diana Lopez, who left her newborn in a gas station toilet.
We're learning more details about a woman who was arrested after police say she left her newborn in the bathroom of a Houston gas station.
Diana Lopez was arrested by Border Patrol in Brownsville. Jason Miles joins us live now from that gas station on South Post Oak with more. Jason?
Hey there, yeah, some of these details definitely disturbing, so consider that a warning. Now, according to documents, this woman claims she did not even know she was pregnant before the night she came to this store. Hours later, her newborn was found dead in a toilet. Life ended before it began for a newborn infant Houston police say was left in a toilet inside this South Post Oak Shell station, something neighbor Joyce Hill is just hearing about.
I think that's sad. I really do, and I hate that happened.
25-year-old Diana Guadalupe Zavala Lopez was arrested this week while attempting to cross the border in Brownsville, days after police released surveillance video of her from the store and pleaded for the public's help.
We just want to talk to her. We just want to find out some more information.
We now have a lot more information thanks to this newly obtained criminal complaint. It says a woman cleaning the store initially found the baby in the toilet and thought the clerk was playing a trick by using a doll, describing the child as not that small and full of hair. Police later found this footage of who turned out to be Lopez leaving the store with blood on her legs. Police say she wasn't identified until a tipster called in this week after seeing Lopez on the news. Documents say she was interviewed after her arrest, stating she came to the store after feeling sick at a party, gave birth in the bathroom, and flushed the toilet. Police allege she never attempted CPR or life-saving measures.
It is just tragic that it's played out the way that it has.
something many feel could have been avoided for the baby's sake.
Just have to reach out and get, and look for resources. We do have options to help.
And at this point, Lopez is charged with felony tampering or fabricating physical evidence. No word on when she'll be back in Houston following her arrest again down on the border in Brownsville. Right now, the medical examiner's office has yet to release the cause of death for that baby.
Brothers and sisters, follow us back into the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, the 4th chapter and the 10th verse. Why? We just read from Ecclesiastes. Right? When Solomon says there's a benefit to having two parents, right? Because why? It's overwhelming, right? It's overwhelming. Can mom have a bad day? Can mom have a sick day? No, she can't. No, she cannot. Mom can never have a day to herself. Mom can never have a sick day. Can mom have an attitude day where she doesn't have to carry the burden? No, she cannot. Brothers and sisters, that is an incredible burden. That is an incredible burden. And we see what type of decisions women make under the threat of that burden. Okay, we're at Ecclesiasticus chapter 4, verse 10. Because why? God knew that we would be where we are, where most children would be born to single-parent homes. He knew that. How do we know? We're at Ecclesiasticus chapter 4, verse 10. Take a look at this advice he gives, brothers and sisters.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 10. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of a husband unto their mother, so shalt thou be as the son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doeth.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 10. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of a husband unto their mother, so shalt thou be as the son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doeth.
Wow. Brothers and sisters, look at that. Look at that. God doesn't suggest, he commands. Every true man is drafted to claim spiritual custody of at least one child outside of his own bloodline. That's what this passage tells us. This isn't a pickup strategy, right? God demands men mentor fatherless kids with ironclad integrity. Hands off the mother, eyes on the child. See that? Look no further. This scripture is God's direct, explosive answer to the single motherhood crisis rocking our culture. See that? This text strikes directly at the root of a broken system to heal the gaping wound left by missing fathers. Right? Men, deploy. We are officially called to flood fatherless homes with the strength, authority, and love the enemy tried to steal. You see that? This is a modern day rescue mission. With millions of kids trapped in fatherless homes, this scripture is an absolute state of emergency. Okay, God is hunting for warriors willing to lock arms with a child who does not share their DNA and say, I've got your back. Okay, to smash the toxic cultural trends holding our communities hostage, God issues a battlefield order. Protect the fatherless as the ultimate act of worship. He says, if you do this, God will love you more than your own mother. Draw a line in the sand, guide the youth, build the next generation, and keep your motives 100% pure and agenda-free. He says, don't worry about messing with their mother. Okay, put your focus on the kids, right? Because you see a lot of this. You see a lot of guys, right, who will step in, but as long as they are smashing the mom, essentially, right? If they're being able to get intimate with mom, then they'll step in a little bit. God says, well, no. No. What happened to mentorship? What happened to the Big Brother program? What happened to the Big Sister program? Okay, lock it in. This scripture unleashes men to pour raw, unadulterated direction and support straight into the souls of desperate kids. Okay? Think about that. Consider that. Without a father, the perimeter is breached. Both boys and girls are left wide open to the wolves. It's time for real men to become the shield, the Bible says. Okay, this verse is a direct strike against toxic cultural cycles. Think about this. God commands men to step into broken homes and completely smash the generational chains of fatherlessness. Think about that. God isn't making a polite suggestion. He's issuing a wartime draft. Take a look at that. Every real man is commanded to claim spiritual custody of a child who does not share his bloodline. See? Think about that. Without a dad, the perimeter is breached and kids are exposed to wolves. When a man obeys this verse, he becomes a firewall protecting the vulnerable. See that, brothers and sisters? When there's no man protecting the vulnerable, predators will find their way in. And that's a fact that cannot be denied. Remember, most people totally ignored the single mother who found out that her 14-year-old nephew was raping her disabled son, and the family hid it.
On January 1st, 2023, officers responded to a residence following a delayed report involving a juvenile with developmental disabilities and allegations of serious harm. Information obtained upon arrival indicated the incident involved multiple family members and had occurred inside the home the previous evening.
I have a 14-year-old son. He's mentally disabled, so he's 14, but he's more like 4 or 5. My husband was here, but I wasn't, and I got stuck in traffic, so I didn't make it on time. And so I told him to take Alex to my mom, took him over there. And when he was there, my nephew came over, and my sister dropped my nephew off. He put my son downstairs. My niece's husband, he walked in and seen him. But then he walked out and went upstairs and got my mom.
You said your sister's husband?
My niece's husband.
Niece's husband? What's his name?
Jerome. And he went upstairs and got my mom. And then she came downstairs. She walked in on my nephew performing on my son. It's gonna come up because that same nephew, my little cousin, I think like maybe 2 months ago in the same house. And so, but I didn't find out until today. Everybody told me what happened today. I didn't know what had happened. So I ended up talking to her mom. She told me what happened. I just moved here. We were from Florida. I just moved back to Georgia.
And this happened yesterday?
Yesterday. So I told my son, I didn't know what you guys were gonna do or whatever. So I told him that you guys may talk to him. I needed to file a police report. Well, he pulled his pants down.
Your nephew?
Pulled my son's pants down. And he made him bend over. Him, and he told my son if he said anything that he was gonna hurt him. That Alex doesn't understand how do I say, he can't explain. He gets confused. He doesn't, vocabulary is not a problem, language is a problem. I don't know if that makes sense. So he can't describe what happens. Like it's just, he can just be very direct. So if you ask him indirectly, everything is concrete. I didn't even understand when he was telling me. I asked him, I said, why didn't you like scream or run or go get grandma, or, you know? And he said, because he told me he was gonna do something to me, so I got scared. And he just stood there and he did what he told him. He said it hurt. And I ran out of time last night. I couldn't make it. Nobody called the police. Nobody did it. So when my time came back this morning, I drove here and parked at Walmart. Oh.
Yes, ma'am. Jerome Hardiman, which is your niece's husband, is the one that saw it.
That was the initial person that saw it. And then my mom, he went upstairs and got my mom.
And she also saw.
Yeah, and then she ended up like hitting my nephew off of my son.
By this point, officers had gathered enough preliminary information to determine the situation involved allegations of mistreatment against a minor with developmental disabilities. Officers were also made aware that approximately 2 months prior to this incident, the same juvenile had been accused accused of engaging in inappropriate conduct involving a younger family member. Due to the nature of the claims, officers notified investigators, Child Protective Services, and juvenile court to ensure the appropriate agencies were involved. Given the seriousness of the allegations and the presence of multiple witnesses inside the home, officers transitioned the response from an initial call to a formal investigation. Interviews were separated and arrangements were made to speak directly with the accused juvenile in a controlled setting.
From the beginning, just tell us what happened.
I have to go in complete details.
Yes.
Who else was down in the basement with you, if anybody?
Nobody.
You said a minute ago that somebody else was down there playing video games with you. Who was that?
Alex.
Okay. Did Alex leave?
No.
So Alex was in the basement with you. All right, so if Alex is in the basement, you guys are playing video games, take us forward from there. You're playing video games, and then what happens?
Have courage and speak. I did something bad.
What did you do?
I taught him to do something bad, and he ended up getting back on from there.
Okay. Now, when you say something bad, what are you referring to? Something? Did clothes come off? Okay. Whose clothes came off? Which part came off? So his pants came off, and then what happened?
What grown-ups do?
You're gonna have
Like
to.
kids.
You're gonna have to tell me, man. I can't just assume what you're talking about.
Let's take a break for just 2 minutes here. Can you stop this?
Yeah.
He took his underwear off, and we did whatever.
Okay. Alex took his own underwear off, and then what happened?
We did.
Tell us what Alex did.
You know how I told you he talked them in? I talked him into it.
Mm-hmm.
I talked him into it. He wanted to do it. So, like I said, he pulled his pants down. He pulled his drawers down.
That's good. Keep going. Tell us what else happened. Did Alex say anything at this point? No? Did you say anything to him? Okay, so where were you when this happened, and where was Alex when this happened?
We was in the like in my grandma's house. It's like this living room downstairs. We was in the living room by this couch and this table.
Was that where you guys had been when you were playing video games?
We was on the couch.
Okay, did you turn the video game off at this point? Okay, so the video game console is still on, is that right? Either of you stand up at this point when Alex is taking his clothes off?
Alex.
Okay, and so does that mean that you're standing or are you sitting?
I'm sitting.
Where are you sitting?
Couch.
Where had Alex been sitting just before he stood up?
Right beside.
Had either of you at that point touched one another in any way? Just like you slapped him on the knee or anything more than that? Or at all? Did that happen before Alex stood up or did it happen after he stood up?
After.
Were you guys sitting far apart from one another? Maybe it's better if I ask you, how many cushions are on that couch?
3.
Where were you sitting? On the far left one, the middle one, or the far right one?
The far right.
If you're on the far right one, that means there's 2 other cushions. Which one is Alex sitting on? Middle or far left?
Middle.
You're sitting there playing video games, and maybe something happens, and he smacks you on the back. Did that happen? No? Make sure you speak up, all right? You're sitting there playing video games, and you win. Do you, like, smack him on the leg and say, ha, I got you? Okay. Are you guys talking to one another about anything at this point?
After we got done with the game, like, I talked him into it, and then he agreed.
What is it?
You said you talked him into it. The investigator's asking you, what do you mean by it?
Something. Exactly. Say it detail. What exactly?
You said, well, what does it involve as far as what y'all were going to do? Did you have to use your hand?
My hands.
What did your hands and your mouth do? Did they touch any part of Alex's body? Okay. What part of his body did they touch?
Where your pee comes out of.
Where your pee comes out of? Okay. You know what the name of it is? What do you call it?
Dom, you're doing good. We're grateful that you're being honest with us. Did you make Alex stand up? When he stood up, he would have had his back to you at that point. He's not standing on the couch facing you, I presume.
He walked towards me and faced me.
Go from there. Tell us what happened next.
So like he took his pants off at like this point to his knee.
Okay. Does he take anything else off?
No.
Did he pull them both down at the same time?
Yes.
The pants and the underwear? Okay. He's facing in front of you. Is this when the takes place? Okay. So what happens from there?
His thing went in my...
Okay. And by thing, do you mean the place where the pee comes out?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you a drawing, okay? This is just a sketch. It's not, of course, it's nothing what we typically use, but it's just a little outline of what a body looks like. Can you circle in the area of where the pee would come out on that? Okay. You don't have a name for that? Because what you've indicated is what some people might call a private area or something. Okay. He put that in your... Did anybody see this? Okay.
My grandma did, but that was when we got caught.
Your grandma saw? Okay. Did your grandma walk in while it was out in your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. Does Grandma immediately pull y'all out of the room?
Somebody walked in before.
Before Grandma?
It was Jerome.
Jerome? Did he see anything?
No, I rushed back to the game.
Okay.
Did you ever leave the couch after Alex stood up? He has his pants down. Did you ever leave the couch while this was happening?
No, I was still sitting on the couch. When Jerome came in, we act like we was playing the game, but he had saw something and he went to go to Grandma, and then we went back to doing something, to doing what I previously said.
Okay. After he left? Okay.
And then Grandma came downstairs and called us.
All right. Did you do anything else while you were down there other than put your mouth on his private as far as
My private part went in his, but not all the way.
Okay. Was this before or after Jerome walking in?
Before.
Okay.
That's when Jerome walked in. We was behind the door. When he came in, I brushed to the couch, act like I was playing a game, and Alex was still behind the door. He came in, asked for a pen, walked out, went to go tell Grandma, and then Grandma came downstairs and called him.
And then Jerome walked in while the was in Alex's. Jerome walks in. You kind of retreat back
to
the couch. And then after Jerome leaves is when the on the of Alex happens, and then Grandma comes in. Okay. So what happens when Grandma comes in?
She tells us to go
upstairs.
During the recorded interview, the juvenile suspect was questioned about his actions inside the home that evening. After initial hesitation, he admitted to engaging in inappropriate acts with the victim. His statements placed both juveniles together in the basement at the time of the incident and confirmed inappropriate contact occurred. Investigators documented the admission carefully, noting inconsistencies and clarifications while maintaining a non-confrontational approach due to the suspect's age.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to Lamentations, the 5th chapter and the 3rd verse. Okay, Lamentations chapter 5, verse 3. Let's take a gander, please.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 3. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
What did that say?
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 3. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
Lamentations captures the cry of a generation missing its anchor. Fatherlessness creates a deep subconscious wound in a child's soul that single mothers cannot heal alone. This passage is a cry of distress, illustrating a household without a father is in a state of affliction, right? And they're vulnerable. That's what we see here. Lamentations 5 is a collective cry of generational ruin, brothers and sisters. Think about that. The enemy promotes single motherhood today because he knows a broken home easily duplicates into the next generation. He knows it. Okay, when the father is removed, the defensive perimeter around the home collapses. Right, the household is instantly left wide open to external spiritual attacks, predators. Right, the enemy forces single mothers into a state of spiritual and emotional widowhood, overwhelmed and carrying a double load never meant for one person. Never meant for one person. Fatherless kids grow up in an identity vacuum. Without a dad to speak destiny over them, children are forced to figure out who they are in a toxic culture. Okay? Single motherhood forces one parent to do the work of two. This grueling division of labor drains the home's emotional energy, leaving the kids with exhausted leftovers. You see that? Without a patriarch standing at the gate, both boys and girls lose their primary physical and spiritual shield, making them easy prey for predators, brothers and sisters. Okay, losing the father means losing a primary economic engine. Okay? The great brothers and sisters, for those of you who know the statistics, the greatest one indicator of a family that is impoverished is what? They come from single mother home, right? They come from a single mother home, right? It is the greatest predictor of future poverty. Look this up. Look this up. It is the greatest indicator of if a child will grow up in poverty, right? Single motherhood often forces a home into survival mode, where the focus shifts from thriving to just paying bills. Okay, a solo mother faces a relentless firing squad of daily choices with zero backup. Satan uses this exhaustion to induce decision fatigue, hoping she eventually surrenders ground. Boys in fatherless homes don't see a godly man model respect. Girls don't see a godly man model honor. Single motherhood makes it harder for kids to visualize healthy future marriages. Statistically and spiritually, the enemy uses fatherlessness to push kids behind the start. Okay? He doesn't. He pushes kids behind the starting line of life. And that's a fact we can't deny. He makes them have to fight twice as hard just to break even. Okay? And we're going to talk about it. Why? Moms excel at nurturing, but dads bring a specific boundary enforcing authority. Okay? Without that fatherly enforcement, kids are at a massive disadvantage in learning self-discipline. You see that? If a single mother hits a wall of sickness or depression, there is no co-pilot to take the wheel. The children are forced to absorb the direct impact of the crash. This passage is a spiritual distress signal, brothers and sisters. Okay, it exposes the exact disadvantage that the church and godly men are commanded to storm, invade, and rectify. Okay, God created women to be the weaker vessel. So when they have to carry the burden of parenthood alone, it has devastating consequences. Many people totally ignored the mother, Andrea Davis, who killed her 2 children and herself after a dispute with their father.
In the Northwest Valley, where tonight a community continues to mourn the horrific killings of 2 young children.
Police say that their own mother shot and killed them in their Phoenix home before turning the gun on herself. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is joining us live in their neighborhood near 51st Avenue and Bell Road, where a memorial is now honoring these children. Chase?
Caribe police are still investigating this situation. Officers trying to determine a motive behind this. But everyone we spoke with, family, neighbors, and even police say absolutely nothing justifies this horrible and heartbreaking tragedy. This video, taken by a home security camera, shows a father, his 10-year-old son, and 2-year-old daughter walking together Sunday afternoon. Those cheers coming from the little girl as they headed to the park nearby. Neighbors say this is the same family that experienced a devastating tragedy hours later. No one can believe.
It's very, very sad and very unfortunate.
Both those children said to be killed in their home by their own mother, 38-year-old Andrea Davis, before she shot and killed herself.
No one wants to see harm caused to children. It's very difficult for our officers, our detectives, and our firefighters to deal with this.
This all started just after midnight at this bar not far from their home. Police say Davis's husband was with another woman in the parking lot when Davis started firing gunshots at them. The husband, who hasn't been publicly identified at this time, wasn't hit, but the woman was, shot in the back of the head. But police say she survived. When officers arrived, the husband told them it was his wife who fired the shots. He then started getting threatening text messages from her, saying she was going to hurt their kids.
One of those text messages did contain a photograph where one of the children inside the home had already received an injury.
Officers with Glendale and Phoenix rushed to the home and forced their way inside. but it was too late.
This was really just a horrific situation.
They didn't deserve it. They still had a whole life ahead of them, and it's not fair.
Felicia Queen is the husband's cousin who set up this memorial near the home, saying Andrea and her husband were separated and in the process of getting divorced.
It's not okay what she did, but she wasn't a horrible person. She was a good mom.
The memorial continued to grow throughout Monday. Parents and their kids coming by, dropping off flowers, drawings of the two kids, and said their goodbyes.
So just please pray for these babies. They didn't deserve it. Pray for him that he can get through it. Pray for our family.
Brothers and sisters, follow us to 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Okay, I really need my men. I need my brothers to pay attention here, okay? Because when women are asked to carry burdens that they're not created to carry, imagine a chair, right? Imagine a chair that says the weight limit is 250. And then someone who's 450 pounds sits on it. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? The same thing that happens when women are forced to create or carry burdens that God did not design them to carry alone. Okay, we're at 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. I want the men to listen to this, okay? Take a look at this.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
Read that again, brothers and sisters, please.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
Weaker vessel means fine china, not a plastic cup. Women are priceless masterpieces requiring delicacy. That's what it means, right? Fine china isn't a construction brick. Women were never engineered to carry the crushing weight of an entire household completely alone. That's just the facts of the matter, right? When you examine the passage, parents are co-heirs of divine power. Raising a family is a dual command mission. It's never a solo survival act, okay? Abandoning a mother cuts a man's line to heaven. Notice what he says there. He says if the man doesn't operate with the woman appropriately, his prayers are hindered. This is how serious it is. Brothers, this is how serious it is that you get right with your child's mother, because you can't possibly have a relationship with God appropriately and you haven't figured that out. That's what this passage tells us, right? If you don't operate with her as the weaker vessel, God doesn't want to hear your prayers, right? See that? Single motherhood is an unnatural weight. Men must absorb life's heavy lifting so mothers have the peace to raise champions. Okay, men are ordered to study and support a mother's unique needs. Forcing her to parent solo is a tactical betrayal, brothers and sisters. You see that? Stop forcing mothers to play both provider and nurturer. Okay, let the man build the wall so she can tend the home. Let's be honest. You don't drop a diamond into a combat zone. Cherish the mother, normalizing, brothers and sisters, I have to say, normalizing single motherhood is a massive cultural failure. Okay, and we have to talk about it. Why? Men are engineered to take the hard hits of financial and physical pressure, so the mother never fractures under the stress. See that? A unified husband and wife unlock explosive kingdom authority. Okay, single parenting shouldn't have to fight the brothers and sisters. It's very clear. Single parenting shouldn't have to fight the battle solo. Really examine that. The culture praises single moms just to let deadbeat dads off the hook. This scripture demands men stay in the foxhole and work. Okay, when a woman is fully backed and protected by a man, the home becomes a impenetrable fortress where kids thrive. You see that? Single motherhood is a malfunction of a broken culture. Never God's design for a woman's destiny. Never, ever. Okay, a solo mother must split her focus between hunting for food and nurturing souls. Kids deserve an undistracted parent. The culture glorifies the single mother struggle just to excuse lazy men. Women were created to be cherished, not crushed, the Bible tells us. Okay, the second a man walks away, the fortress gates fly open, leaving both the mother and the kids exposed to predatory cultural wolves. And that's just the truth. All right, he says women are the weaker vessel. Weaker means physically vulnerable. Okay, right? Not mental weakness. Let's be clear. It's a direct warning. Never exploit a woman by making her fend for herself. Okay, let's be clear. It's not saying she's mentally weak. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be clear on this. Why? When women are made to carry a heavy burden of parenthood alone, they don't make the greatest decisions. And that's a fact that cannot be denied, brothers and sisters. Most people totally ignored Jennifer Potts, the mother who was recently arrested for leaving her toddler alone in the car as she drank at a local bar.
Right now at 6, a mother arrested accused of the unthinkable. Police say she left her child in the car so she could go drinking. Thankfully, the child was recovered unharmed.
Police say the mother admitted to drinking and now she's facing some serious charges. Let's go to Local 10's Terrell Fournet, who reports from Deerfield Beach.
Well, that mother right now has been charged with child neglect without great bodily harm. This is that bar in Deerfield Beach that police were called to, and that mom says that she only came here initially to retrieve a few items. The parenting skills of Jennifer Potts has triggered both a criminal and Children and Families Services investigation after cops say the 29-year-old woman left her baby boy in a car all alone while she slipped into a bar.
She was out with her friends and made a horrible judgment call. No doubt about that.
That's Jennifer's father in court today to plead with the judge about leniency, saying the behavior is unlike anything she's ever done in the past. It was early this morning, just after 1 a.m., when someone called 911 after spotting the baby in a locked parked car. The engine was off and not a soul in sight. A BSO deputy searched the area for 17 minutes until Jennifer surfaced, claiming she had only been inside Padano's Bar and Grill a short time.
I know it sounds bad that she was in a bar while the child was in the car. I understand that. But as she mentioned to the officer, she went into the bar for a very brief period of time to get her cell phone and her driver's license.
Aside from those words from a public defender, a prosecutor reminded the judge that the evidence says otherwise. Investigators noted that Jennifer allegedly even smelled of alcohol. In the end, the mom was granted bond, but ordered to stay away from her own baby boy.
I think it would be an extremely undue hardship on Miss Potts if she was not able to have some contact with her son.
BSO deputies says Potts also admitted to drinking an unknown amount of alcohol. She's being held right now in the Broward County Jail on a $5,000 bond.
Weaker vessel means elite masterpiece, not a construction brick. God forbids overloading these treasures with the crushing weight of a solo household, brothers and sisters. When a mother is forced to stand on the front lines completely isolated, Satan throws a party because he knows the defenses are split. He knows it. Brothers and sisters, the exact second a man deserts his post, he leaves his own flesh and blood completely exposed to a ruthless cultural ambush. Let's settle the debate. God never engineered women to carry the destiny of the next generation entirely on their own backs. Never. Satan actively targets the family because an isolated, exhausted single mother is exactly the loophole he needs to infect the children's minds. It's what he's looking for. Okay, when men go AWOL and leave mothers to run the entire ship, they are weaponizing the environment against their own kids. Nothing thrills the kingdom of darkness more than a broken home where a mother has to play both provider and protector. Stop believing the cultural lie. God never designed mothers to fight the battle of parenting without a co-pilot. Never. Okay? They are the weaker vessel. They are fine china. Fine china isn't meant to break under the weight of an entire household's burdens. Men are called. We are called to take the heavy hits. You see that? The enemy celebrates the collapse of the two-parent home because it turns a thriving sanctuary into a chaotic war zone for the kids. Let's be honest. Okay, leaving a mother to raise kids alone is a massive tactical error that places an immediate target on the backs of those children. Okay, and we're going to talk about it. Why? God explicitly designed the home to require a father's presence, and that's a fact that cannot be denied. Many people totally forgot when Daisy Yeager was arrested for leaving her child in the car for hours while she gambled in the nearby casino.
Turn around for me.
Okay, hold on.
Turn around.
Hold on.
Turn around.
Okay.
Just put your hands behind your back. We will talk here as soon as I get done with this.
We begin at 10 with that new body camera video of the arrest of a local mother after police say she left her child locked in a running car for several hours while she was inside a casino. So glad you're with us tonight at 10. I'm Sarah Whaley.
And I'm David Bowden. Shay has the night off. We told you about the incident that happened on May 31st at the Hard Rock Casino. Now, this is a mugshot of the woman arrested, Daisy Yeager. She says that she was booked into Rogers County Jail.
New at 10, Fox 23's Kaylee Carnine is live in studio with more of that body camera video and new details on the investigation. Kaylee.
Yes, this body camera video is just about 37 minutes long. That's how long it took the officer and casino security to try and get the facts as to what actually was going on. A local woman charged in a case that's quite shocking to a lot of people. Catoosa police say they got the call to the Hard Rock Casino around 3 on May 31st. And when they got there, they say they found a baby inside a running SUV. You can see the child's mother, Daisy Yeager, running out of the casino toward the officer as she sees the scene.
I'm stop right here. Getting ready real quick. Why are we leaving a baby in the car?
I went to go find his dad.
Why are we leaving an infant in the car?
I went to go find his dad.
This is stuff I put people in prison for. Why are we leaving an infant in the
I
car?
was literally out
I'm not interested. I want to know why you left your child in the
because
car.
I had to go find his dad. My phone was
So it's
dead.
okay to leave that baby?
No.
No, I didn't say go over there. Unlock the car for us. Unlock the car. Stop.
Please.
Unlock the car.
I'm trying.
We need to make sure this kid is okay.
They get the baby boy out, and while the air conditioning was running, the officer said it was still warm inside. Yeager tells the officer in the video that she had just run inside to find the baby's dad and use the bathroom, and that the baby had just been in the car for about 20 minutes. But Hard Rock security staff later revealed that security cameras showed her going into the casino at 9:30 in the morning and never coming back out.
So they have timestamps. They have two people that all they do all day long is watch cameras. They've already rewound it since they found your child in the car alone. Said you got out of that car at 9:30 and this morning and walked inside, and you never came back out until you saw law enforcement and security out here. So is that what's the case, or what's the deal?
Shortly after the officer arrests Yeager, she was booked into jail but posted her $10,000 bond on June 11th. The little boy was taken to the hospital to be checked out and then was put into protective custody. Yeager charged with 1 count of child neglect. Her preliminary hearing is set for July 15th. Live in the newsroom covering news that matters, Kaylee Carnine, Fox 23 News.
Brothers and sisters, follow me to the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. Okay, we're going to the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus 41 and 7. Why? Why, brothers and sisters? A lot of people will take what we're saying as if, hey, a man fixes everything, right? If a man is present, everything will go 100% accurate, 100% correct. And that's just not the truth. Okay, so we're not going to allow the devil to take our message and misrepresent our message to our audience. Okay, we're not saying that, hey, as long as the father is there for his children, everything will go 100% right, because the Bible doesn't agree with that, and neither do I. Okay. And we're going to talk about that, okay? We're going to Ecclesiasticus 41, because why? The Bible tells you that just because a man is present doesn't mean that everything's going to go the way in which God intends, okay? Follow us to Ecclesiasticus 41 and 7. We're having some technical difficulties right now, brothers and sisters, so it's just me right now, okay? Ecclesiasticus 41 and 7, and it reads, "The children will complain of an ungodly father." The children will complain of an ungodly father. Why? Because they shall be reproached for his sake. They shall be reproached for his sake. Let me read that again, brothers and sisters. Ecclesiasticus chapter 41, verse 7, and it reads, "The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake." Brothers and sisters, the text explicitly notes that a father's presence is a detriment if he is ungodly. See that? The children do not benefit from him. They actively suffer societal and moral ruin because of him. See that? Let's be honest. Just being a warm body in a room doesn't fulfill God's plan. And that's what the passage is telling us. Okay, if a father is physically present but spiritually bankrupt, he is a Trojan horse bringing chaos right into his own home. See that? We wanted to put it out here. An ungodly father is a walking liability. His presence doesn't protect the kids, it infects the kids. That's what the Bible says. Okay, Satan doesn't always need to remove the father from the home. Sometimes he just corrupts the father from inside out. And we have to put it out there. Why? A present but toxic father completely derails God's blueprint. See that? The text is clear. Children will complain what? Of an ungodly father. See that? A dad who refuses to submit to God is guilty of friendly fire. He's right there in the foxhole with his kids, but his lifestyle is dropping bombs on their stability. You see that, brothers and sisters? God designed the father to be a living roadmap to heaven. But a present ungodly father completely drives his kids straight into confusion and rebellion. And we have to put that on the table. Why? Physical proximity doesn't equal spiritual alignment. Okay, just because he's in the home, just because a man is in the home, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, you can sit at the same dinner table every night, but if the father's heart is wicked, the kids will grow up harboring deep resentment. And that's what this passage is telling us about. Okay, a father is supposed to be a protective shade tree for his family. But an ungodly father produces toxic shade, poisoning the very soil the children are trying to grow in. You see that, brothers and sisters? An ungodly father acts as a virus inside of the home. He doesn't have to leave the house to destroy it. His daily compromise passes the infection straight to the kids. And we're going to talk about that. Why? Children carry their father's name into the world. When a present dad acts wickedly, he turns that family name into a curse. Okay? This verse is a wake-up call, brothers and sisters. God doesn't just demand a man's physical attendance in the home. He demands his absolute, uncompromising surrender to him. Okay? Even if the father is present, if he's not leading as God says he should, he destroys his home from the inside. And that's a fact that cannot be denied. Present fathers fail their children every day. And that's an undeniable fact, brothers and sisters. Many people totally forgot and ignored when present father Dakota Dodd was recently arrested for the total neglect of his children.
911 call was to check on the welfare of the little boys that the neighbor saw in an upstairs window, describing them as naked, possibly in distress. And police say once they got inside, in distress would be putting it mildly. According to court documents, a man, Dakota Dodd, led the officers to a bedroom where two boys aged 3 and 4 were naked and caked with dried feces. Police say the entire room was covered as well, the floors, the walls, the windows. The bedroom was connected to a bathroom, but officers said the door to that bathroom was locked from the other side.
Feces on the walls, feces on the kids, a completely disgusting scene. When they went inside, they were, the officers described being almost overcome by the smell of feces and urine inside of the residence.
In fact, it was so bad, crime scene investigators later had to wear hazmat suits to protect themselves. Police say Dodd admitted to locking the boys in that bedroom for more than 12 hours a day and also admitted to police that the kids are probably better off in DHS custody.
You're fine. It looks like they've been in here a while.
Yeah, watch your
Unattended.
step. Already stepped in. Good.
Yeah, I shouldn't say. They look like they've been here a while unattended. We're probably gonna need. I'm gonna call Sergeant. Probably gonna.
Already.
Okay, I was gonna
He's
say.
on his way, and DHS has been notified.
Okay, I was gonna say we're gonna need DHS.
I don't know how it works with child locking it is. Okay. Well, they have food, but they couldn't get to it.
And we have the parent. Like we know the name of the supposed parent.
I haven't collected.
All right, so what do you know so far?
I know they found the baby locked in the back closet back there.
In the bedroom?
In the bedroom. And locked his bed.
Yeah.
The baby was in here with the popsicle stick, and the big kid was in here with the door locked. And they were yelling, or the big kid was yelling for mom. And so the neighbors came in, front door was unlocked, and found the kids in here.
We just saw a father who was present but failed his children, neglected his children, was there in the home. Okay, and I'm speaking to the fellas right now. Be where your feet are. Be present, brothers. Okay, because you can be present and not present. What we just saw was a father who was present but not present. And the only thing the devil has to do is distract the father. He doesn't have to remove the father. He just has to distract the father. And it opens the children up to be attacked by Satan and other predators. Okay? There's no way you can make me believe that that father, Dakota Dodd, would protect his children from predators. There's no way. Okay? So we wanted to put it out there. We wanted to show you that the Bible tells you a father is only good in the home if he's godly. Okay? If he's ungodly, he adds no value to the home. So I want to be clear. We're not suggesting that as long as a father is there in the home, the house is going to run smoothly because women can't raise children alone. That's not our deal, brothers and sisters. That's not our deal. What we're saying is if a godly man, if a father who puts God first is in the home, it will be what? Okay, it will be a benefit to the entire home, not just the children, but the wife also. And that's a fact that cannot be denied. That's a fact that cannot be denied, brothers and sisters. Okay, the title of today's broadcast, brothers and sisters, Baby Mama Drama. Baby Mama Drama. We want to say Kwame Yasharala, sin no more.